stage, Amanda Coombe.
Yeah! Yeah!
If I told you that this is the last health and wellness program you ever need to start, would you jump in or out?
In.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you can't move? Do you ever feel like you're not getting the fullest out of your life? Do you have gut pain? Do you have energy slumps throughout the day? I have found that there is just so much information out there. It's online, from your doctor, your well-meaning friends, in books. It's confusing, right? And often it blindsides us. We're told to eat cereal, yogurt and fruit for breakfast, but that can often lead us feeling hungry throughout the day. And do you know what your carbohydrate tolerance is? Does this sound like you? Does anyone know what percentage of the Australian population is either overweight or obese? 64% according to the ABS. And research from the Harvard Medical School tells us if our waist to height ratio is greater than 0.5, we are at increased risk of developing breast cancer, dementia, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, having a stroke, or being diabetic. There was this one day in 1974 when my parents took me in Hobart for my annual eye examination. We were sitting there in this Federation house that had been transformed into a medical practice. My father looked at me and he said, "Amanda, remember to listen to everything the doctor says." I said, "Yes, Dad." Because for those of you who haven't noticed, this eye looks very different to this one. Because I was born with 5% sight in my left eye. Raise your left hand. Cover it with your left eye. That's what my world has looked like for the past 50 years plus GST and a little bit more. We went into the doctor's room and he did the usual, eye examination. Then he proceeded to tell my parents that I would probably have difficulty learning to read and write, that getting a driver's license may be something that would never happen to me, and ball sports would be out of the question. It was at that very moment that this fire inside of me ignited. I thought no fossil of a doctor, no matter how many fancy letters they've got after their name, is going to define me by my visual impairment. I am going to live the life I want to lead, and I knew that at 7. And I'm certainly not going to let my parents wrap me up in cotton wool so that I can't have the life that I want. So don't allow yourself to be blindsided by what other people tell you. I'm going to share with you some things that are going to help you be able to wear the clothes you love, put on your skinny jeans, feel great and confident in 6 months' time in your swimsuit. Firstly, prioritise protein at every meal. Secondly, I want you to put down your utensils between every bite and give your brain and your belly time to talk to each other. Right? And plan your meals a week in advance. Now that doctor, I proved him wrong because that fire was so strong in me. At 15, I was playing A-grade women's basketball. At 17, I was travelling around Australia in a plane playing in the National Basketball League. and I went on to win a world title at Masters Athletics. I've got a driver's license to drive a bus that seats 30 people. Now, you may not want to get in that bus with me. And I went on to do an honours degree in my final year of university and write a health and wellness column for 7 years in the local newspaper. I want to know what it is in your head that's blindsiding you from getting started on your health and wellness journey today. Because if you don't start with me today, what is your plan B? Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, look how happy she is.
Yeah. Awesome.
So good. Blindsided, love it. Love it.
That's
love
your word. You gave it to me last night. It was awesome.
You've embodied it. It's come from you. You know, you're a very successful coach there in kind of that health and wellness space down there in Tasmania. And Tasmania is a good-sized island, but I think you've got bigger islands to conquer.
Thank you.
For me, I see you as a professional speaker.
Wow.
And catch this, everyone. According to MEA, which is the governing body across Australia in regards to events, there are over 420,000 events happening every single year. That means right now today there are 1,200 events happening across Australia. In more than 50% of those events, there are paid speakers up there on stage. And quite clearly, right now, none of them are you.
We'll have words after.
Yeah, not yet.
Exactly. Currently.
But there are...
You're like my doctor. I'm going to prove you wrong.
The health and wellness industry is a $6.8 trillion a year industry. And there's lots of big stages out there for a professional speaker like you that are waiting for you to stand on these stages next year in 2025. You've got what it takes to be a professional speaker and excited about how we can just tweak, because you've got lots of dynamics here, but how we can polish that up so that you are shining, you're in demand, and this time next year you're turning away gigs because you have too many.
Awesome!
Give her a massive round of applause. Well done.
Thank you,
You've got this.
Craig.
We're here to support you.
Thank you.
Give her a massive round of applause.
Thank you.